welcome to another League of Dracula 2025 match. This one, as you can see, will be between... This is the rematch between Ghostwheel, who will this time be playing as Hunters, and Terminus, playing as Dracula. Let's see how Ghostwheel does versus Terminus. There it goes. Alrighty. So let's see how Ghostwheel chooses to set up his hunters. What cities shall they haunt? Okay. Looks as if we have standard Scott sword set up this time. Alright. So, some background on how experienced these two are. Ghostwheel, prior to their first match, I had never seen Ghostwheel play before. So I have no idea like how long he's been playing the physical game, but this is only his, so far as I know, his second game in the digital version. But but long and short of it is that he is one of the newcomers to the community in this tournament. Terminus, on the other hand, has been around since last year's league. Around there. He made it to the quarterfinals of the knockout phase last year, forcing me to a tiebreaker before I managed to break into the semifinals. So he's good. We'll see how Ghostwheel does. He's been watching lots of videos and basically doing his studies to prepare for this tournament. So, will those studies pay off or not? That is the question. I mean, even if they don't pay off enough, that is, there are several. It'll still gain him experience for later in the league. This is only the first round. One moment. Yeah, this is only the first round out of 8 in the league phase. There are a total of 16 games, 2 per round. So even if he loses this, he's still got plenty of time to grab some wins. Okay, Mina got Garlic Wreath. So should things go poorly, it'll be far from game over for Ghostwheel. Especially since out of the 22 participants, 16 get to advance to the league phase. So... or to the league phase? Lol. To the knockout phase. Correction. So, all he has to do is not be in the bottom 6. And that's, to be honest, that's not really asking much. As long as you have, like, even 3, 4 wins, you might still make it. Is the neat thing. Alright. I for my part, I'm rooting for Ghostwheel to get a win here and now. I'd like to just see the newcomers' studies pay off, and so to speak. But yeah, that's. And well, there's really not much more to say until we get our first breakthrough. Either that or we get some sort of interesting discard. Bum ba-dum bum bum. Oh. Local rumors. No. Okay. So this isn't so this is not a primary England start. Since that was local rumors and not evil presence, that would have made any of these three reveal themselves if they were up there. Not if they were there now. At least not just if they were there now, I should say. And unless he chose to hide for his first encounter, which is utterly ridiculous, then he is not up there. So it is definitely within reason to say that he is just not there. Now Ireland, that is still possible. These two over here. Okay. Surprising return. Okay. Doing a trade. Can definitely respect that. Like, give Goldaming the garlic grease so that he can throw that away instead of throwing away something better. Very typical thing to happen at this time of the game. And this game will prove an interesting test for Ghostwheel because as any of you who have followed the Fear of Dracula community for any sort of time will likely already know that the hunters are far more difficult to master than than Dracula. Mastery of the art of the hunt comes far slower than the mastery of elusiveness with Dracula. Interesting. Did not misdirect. I gather that some people are starting to shift away from that meta now. But we'll see. Will he get punished for it? Will he draw a newspaper today? Oh, scouts. Okay. Where do you check? Oh, hello. Valona and Bari. So, he is in the east. But honestly, that's rather typical of Terminus. He tends to do eastern starts quite a lot. So first encounter is not at Athens. Important note, because he would have had to misdirect that for him to be back at Valona. Oh, okay. Other local rumors. Lol. So first encounter is at Sofia, Sarajevo, or Salonika. And I think that the last of those is the most likely. And starting location being Sofia in that case. We'll have to wait and see. So, I suppose now that we know where Dracula is, mm, Ghostwheel will have to now resist the temptation to move too soon. He needs, while it's good to know where Dracula is, you also need to master the self-control necessary to begin moving on the trail at the right time. So it's definitely a risky. So it's definitely, at least for a newcomer, I am concerned that it will be a bit of a double-edged sword that he found him early. He may end up. I keep saying he, but I have no idea of gender. Sorry if this turns out to be wrong, Ghostwheel. I suppose, yeah, Ghostwheel has no way of knowing. I'm worried that Ghostwheel will just start sending the hunters in too soon and just send them to their deaths. It's something that almost everyone falls victim to at some point or another during their career, I suppose you might say. Depends on how you think of it. Alright, what will Dom discard? Double pistol. Okay. Scouts. Okay, so this will let him figure out a little bit more of what he's getting into. I would definitely check Sophia and Salonica. Or, I would definitely check Salonica. Oh, okay, no Belgrade. But we almost already knew that. So, yeah. At a guess, Dracula will have placed a bats or something of that nature there. Okay, there's the... Samia's got her horse. That's good. I don't know who this Chrome Kiwi dude is, so unless it's some alternative name for some guy in the community, then he isn't a member of our community, so far as I know, at least. So... how to go about this? Since I don't know what the hunters have in their hands at present, I can't say. The question is, how will Ghostwheel go about it? Okay. Okay. So, the hunters will need to start moving soon, if they are to reach the first encounter in time. Then again, if they have a chartered carriage, although due to how few events they're showing, that is not the most likely thing. But, but not impossible. They could charter carriage down to Sophia. One of them could charter carriage down to Sophia, which we know that the starting location and this and the first encounter are that we know that Sophia is involved somehow. It's either the first encounter, in which case the starting location could be Bucharest or Varna, or Salonika, or if the first encounter is at Salonika, which I suspect it is, then the starting location is Sophia. We'll have to see how they go about this. On there, it is getting rather late into the evening. It's now nearly 7:30 here, so yeah, and which is worse, I have my own game to play versus Spencer Wolfhard after this. So I shall have to maintain vigilance, especially since I'm hunting during my game. Is that perhaps a newspaper report that he's now going to play? No, apparently not. Or if it is, he's not going to play it yet. Going to turn on a lamp here, so you'll see a brightness change slightly. Okay. Only events are long range. Yeah. And okay, just a rule clarification for him there. Apparently, you had seen that Van Helsing has something that he wants to give to someone. Excuse me. Yeah, so okay. Well, you kind of knew that already. But then again, that's also just a fancy way of saying I pass. But okay, one way or another, the hunters need to start moving this turn. I think, unless they are just woefully unready, and therefore we'll just have to let the stuff go. But I hope that's not the case. But if they want to reach the first one in time, yep. Okay, good. Horse economy seems to be in order, and Golami does have a horse. Very good, very good. Okay, let me guess. Bats. Oh? If it is bats, apparently he is choosing not to say. Yet, at least. Nice. Chariot carriage. So chances are that Dracula is currently at Munich. Brussels. Okay. It's not bad to do that, but I personally would have done Marseille. But then again, the way he asked about Van Helsing trading items, perhaps Van Helsing needs to meet up with Seward for a trade. Perhaps that's what he's getting at. Okay. The thing is that Dracula could also have gone to Belgrade after Sarajevo, and then and is now at Bucharest, ready to go into Sofia, when it turns into a lair. It's possible that he's going for a lair stratagem. Okay. If I am right about what he's doing, then he's going to be moving right back to what I think is Sophia. The thing is, we don't know for sure where that place is. Let's see what happens. I also would not be too surprised if he were to simply wolf form. Wolf form from Munich can go all sorts of places, so perfectly fine move in general. Oh, nope. Yep, he's back where he started. And that means that it has to be Sophia. Ah, so he did find a newspaper. And it is indeed Salonica. So if Goldaming rolls well, he can get there and hopefully stop the encounter. Which, by the fact that he put a rumor token on the space after it, I'm guessing it to be a hoax. Okay, so Seward's continuing to move closer. I'm not sure how much I like that. In fact, that makes me... If he's going to start just walking east, then Marseille is actually the better destination, because Marseille, Zurich, Munich, compared to Brussels, Strasbourg, Zurich, Munich, or Nuremberg, Munich, it's one road more than going the Marseille route. Alright. Let's see. Stake. New vampire. Okay, that's a bit of a surprise, but... Yeah, that's definitely a surprise. Then again, I suppose he was going a lair stratagem. He was planning to circle around back to that. But now that Goldaming is there, okay, what does Ghostwheel have in terms of weaponry? Okay, has a knife. So what will Dracula do now? So he's at Sophia. At a guess, I think that he will hide, and then hoping that Goldaming will move off of Salonica onto Valona, which Ghostwheel, if you watch this back, in this case, because of that, the correct thing to do with Goldaming here is simply supply for your next turn. You have to block when you're up against a lair stratagem. The way to most inhibit Dracula's options is to block it, is to cut off the chain of lairs. Since Salonica is the next lair, you want to block that, and so on with Valona, and and then Sarajevo, and so on and so forth. That is what you should do when you're up against a lair stratagem. But I am assuming that Dracula is going to hide here. And that could very well be a hide. Oh. I can't say I like that. For reasons I've already explained. Why Geneva? Ah, so that Van Helsing can reach him and trade the horse to him. Okay. Oh? Okay, I'm not sure I understand this movement. Why are you doing it this way? Okay, aristocratic vampire. Let's see what all happens. Hey there, Pizza Wizard. Well, he had just used his stake on the vampire on a new vampire in Salonica here. Terminus appears to be going for a lair stratagem. We know that this here is Sophia, and I'm guessing that he hid and is now going to go back into Salonica. Yep. As I thought. This is so it turns out for the hunters that it's a good thing that Gul'dan was delayed by that aristocratic, because now the next layer is blockaded, so he won't be able to lay it on 2 encounters there. Yeah, this is likely going to be tough for Ghostwheel. Yeah, the interesting thing is we know that Van Helsing has the last horse, and Van Helsing could have horse to Seward last turn to trade it to him, but chose not to for some reason. Yeah, I'm not sure I really understand the movement that's here, because Seward just moved it. He first chartered carriage up to Brussels, then went to Strasbourg, then Geneva, and now back to Strasbourg. I don't understand what he's doing there. That is... I mean, for starters, I would have done chartered carriage to Marseille, but I figured that perhaps he was looking for... looking to trade some of Van Helsing's stuff to Seward. So I let it. So I said it's fine, but not as good as it could be. Okay. So Mina, yep, gonna go to Belgrade. Where? Okay, what do we got? Yeah, it'll take quite a major effort to clear Sophia. The consolation is that since he didn't put a rumor token down, he at the very least will get minimal points from any vampire mature that happens. Yeah, that was definitely a good move by Mina. Yeah, on the east side of the board, he's been moving quite nicely. Ghostwheel has definitely been moving nicely. On the west side of the board, I'm just not quite understanding what he's doing in terms of movement. Mob. Okay. Okay. Yes, Dracula could be aggressive moving into Valona. He could at that. However, having a daytime fight with a full health Goldaming, and granted Goldaming is down an item, and he knows that one of them is a horse, but yes, that is also true. Even with an RV, it would be difficult to get a third hunter there. Yeah, at this point, what would it take? I suppose chartered carriage 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. It would take chartered carriage plus sense of emergency to get another hunter there. Yep. I see you got onto that ahead of me. Yeah. I mean, Pizza there says, since you have so much to say, if you like, I am in the... Oh, wolf form. Okay, so he successfully broke the chain. I am in the voice channel 3 in the tournament channel. If you want to... Feel free to join me if you like. For some co-com. I have my OBS rigged to capture that. If you want. You're on transit right now? Okay. It's always Athens. What's interesting here, though, is that he layered Sarajevo, but then unlayered it to make it possible to go there without him knowing. It could also be Varna or Bucharest. So what do you do with Gul'damin here? I suppose it can't be Bucharest, because we know that this is Bucharest. So I suppose I would likely have Gul'damin horse to Bucharest. So that he can get a new item. And also, hopefully... yes, it would be quite a dicey play to go Sarajevo. But at the same time, doing Sarajevo would mean that you're ready to go to a lair at Belgrade or Valona, one or the other, as soon as a hunter moves. So, I don't think it's at all impossible that that could be the case. Okay, oh boy. Here we go. I'm guessing that the hide card will be bats. Okay, so it's waiting for him to search it. Okay. Whoa. Ah, so Seward's gonna check out Sarajevo. Or no, he can't get that far. He can get to Zagreb, though, and cut him off if he is trying to do that. I like that. Even though he could have been in a better place by moving a bit more efficiently earlier. Yeah, Ghostwheel will have to be a bit careful not to overcommit to into the east. Going to Prague. Okay. I can't say I completely like that, but okay, will he surge at night? Well, apparently he is. This is likely going to be quite painful for Gul'damin. We'll see. Okay, oh, okay, that's not bad. So that obviously means nothing in terms of being matured. Oh, okay, so is Gul'damin's last card a Heavenly Host? So that wasn't... okay, that wasn't that bad at all. So far. This high could still be nasty. Well... it would appear not. It would appear that he doesn't have a gun. And there are no holy bullets left. Before you ask. Okay. No Heavenly Host. Okay, so... oh, another discrete... both discrete soils. Okay, well that's interesting. So, someone with a Heavenly Host can just flat up clear that. While taking only 2 damage. That's... that seems like... that was far... that was definitely not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. Suppose Sue will likely just rest. Heal back up. Yeah, I wonder what Bucharest is. If I had to guess, Salonika, since he put a rumor there, will be a double vamp. So far, we've only seen one fighter vamp. Saboteur, okay. Does she have a gun? Apparently not. We know she has a knife from a Wolves earlier, and she has a horse. So it seemed like she has a far more standard hand with a... Okay, so since Dracula hasn't really taken much damage so far, none of these things are really all that bad to just let go. It'll be a little bit worse if he ends up going to sea, either today or tomorrow. But yep. Yeah, the hunter. So, yeah, you're hitting the nail right on the head there, Peace Wizard. This is definitely good for the hunters that all of this stuff can be cleared simply by someone having a heavenly host. And I mean, that would give Dracula even more card cycling, but it would cut off 6 healing, although, well, only 3 technically, because the hide one doesn't count. So, Bucharest is nothing but a roadblock. So that means that you can wait a bit and start gathering your strength for Salonika. What I'm concerned about is how much he's committing. That depends on whether he's at a port, but yeah, Dracula will want to go to sea soon, because... Lone Belgrade still lairs. Okay, so that means that he wolf formed up to Varna. Oh boy, I wouldn't go there yet. Okay. Yeah, this is a Varna to Constanta move. He planning on starting all over again by going back to Bucharest? Don't. I mean, it's actually not just the most likely. It's actually confirmed because both Valona and Belgrade are lairs. So therefore, any other move, hide is on the trail. So any other move would have revealed something. So therefore, we know that he's at Constanta right now. He could have. But in the end, he didn't. Don't know how exactly you are claiming to be smelling fog, but I agree that fog in Constanta is likely. In fact, highly likely. Oh boy, I definitely would not have night searched this. Not when you have so much time left. Boy. not like this. Okay. I'm off to a good start. That's something. At this point, simply because he didn't have a gun and didn't have a heavenly host, at this point we can probably say with confidence that his last card is a knife. Mesmerize again. Yep, there it is. What now? I would escape, personally. Yeah. Fangs and... Oh, dodge, okay. What would have been real cool is if it had been a crucifix. Because, okay, I think that's the vampire getting knocked down to 1 HP now, but... Yeah, I am like next to certain that this is a double vamp, so then Glowing needs to get out of here. Definitely needs to skedaddle as soon as he can. Either that or get lucky and finish this thing off now without taking any further damage. Strength into escape. Good. Okay, so that wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best either. The other card is another Reckless Vamp. I can't... Okay, good luck surviving this. Yeah, I definitely would not have done this without any sort of combat event. At least not by night. By day, maybe. Okay. Good dodge, good dodge. Yep. This ain't good. So I would definitely escape here as Gul'daming. Oh boy. Okay. Oh boy. So, crazy though this sounds, I think that the right thing to do here is punch. Because the risk of plotting is just too high in my opinion. No, that... Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, he's outclaws. So, if he has great strength, I would definitely go for a... Okay, up. Oh. Yes! Well done, Ghostwheel. Well done. Whew! That was a close one. That was a close call for Lord Gul'daming. Yikes. Well fought. Well fought. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, the fact that Gul'daming managed to survive that, and what's more, kill one of them, that's very, very good for the hunters. So if... Yep. That was a well played. That was a very risky play to go for it. It's by Ghostwheel, but in the end it pays out. At least it does so enough. He'll have to be careful to just stay and still and heal for a while. At least for a little bit to well, he actually went in with 9 HP to at least to the first fight. I see what you're saying. Never mind. Yeah, it's good. That was some good fighting. But some very risky fighting, though. One small difference would have meant Gul'daming dies. So I think that if Dracula doesn't need to go to sea, then that's... Oh, whoa, Dark Call. Whoa. Alright. Now that's something. So he's now shuffled the encounter deck. Which that's actually good for the hunters, even though it may not appear so. The reason for that is the fact that it is the fact that now he more likely, and yes, fog guaranteed, but on the other hand, more likely than not, he's already laid down a fog. It means that what fogs get triggered will have to wait for another reshuffle to get drawn again. He wants to draw them further into east? Possibly. Okay. Yeah, I personally do not like that Dark Call. Okay. Let's see. How Seward doesn't have any events. Mina has one unknown event. Have we? No, we haven't had any allies, so... Okay, yeah. Just rest, recuperate your strength. You have time. Yeah, Dark Call is. I suppose I can understand it a little bit because you do have a desecrated soil about to mature, but why not simply go to sea to get that healing, to make that healing count more? Okay, what's with this seemingly random movement? Okay. Rufus Smith. Oh, that's good. So, yeah. Drop a card. Yep. That's Dracula isn't punished for staying. I mean, long term he might be, I suppose. He may end up being punished long term, in the sense that he is still almost certainly going to be forced to sea eventually. And yeah, that would have been. And Miata does have a surprising return, so I think I might have searched with that. So is he actually going to mature the desecrated soil? No, he is doing the lair. Yeah, that's very bold. There's some happy rats. Yeah. He feeds. Yeah, I think it likely that he'll feed. And then next turn hide. Yeah. Will he try for the vampire with only 3 health? I wouldn't. I would wait until you have at least 5. So, okay. So, yeah, I don't like how the horse that Van Helsing is holding has been just greatly underutilized. It's just been sitting there. And he could have traded that horse for Seward long ago. That's one thing that is eating away. At what advantages the hunters could have. Yep. Yeah, in truth, he is already going to have wolf form back when he lands again, because since he would be starting in the Black Sea, he would realistically, I doubt he would land from the Ionian. He would go to Tyrrhenian or Adriatic. Okay. So the time he was given the from the layers not from Sophia not having any real super dangerous stuff is now over. The time he gained from that boon is now gone. Yeah, to be honest, it's possible that he's planning to just try to wait around until he can wolf form back to Sophia. Yep, playing the hide card. There's like guaranteed to be, at this point there's like not guaranteed to be a fog in one of these two, the at Varna, or rather Constanta, if not both. No way of knowing. Okay. Oh, rest? Okay, I would have searched there to deal with the vampire. The funny thing is that if he chooses to to let this mature, Dracula will not exactly have any location. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, and we're only one more move until week 3 begins. I mean, that being said, oh, okay. So Mina, I assume that means that Mina's going to Salonika to help deal with this Reckless. Nope, going to Varna. Okay, understandable. However, that does leave him Dracula with a lair that he can move into if he so desires. However, doing that with everyone this close would be extremely bold. Alright. You gotta search it now if you're gonna search it. But I would have done this so during the day. So the vampire is just gonna play defensively. I would assume, at least. Strength into dodge. Nice. Yeah, I'm not so sure about the Wildoming's odds on managing to kill this either. Fair enough. That is fair. Last time his odds were even worse, and he managed to pull through. But Terminus, I doubt Terminus will, like, I mean, it may depend. For all we know, the Dracula, Terminus may have gone a, oh, claws. Okay. That seems to say that Dracula drew a poor combat hand and only had the one cancel there. So that's okay. So he got it, but I'd be willing to bet that was a poor combat hand, and he only did claws because that was the only thing that, like, if the vampire, that was Turner saying, if the vampire must go down, it's at least gonna go down fighting, and doing as much damage as possible, sort of thing. I'd be willing to bet that was not. That was a poor combat hand for Dracula. Because why on earth would he do claws? So so on the assumption that that is true, he got lucky. That Dracula drew a poor combat hand. But Ghostwheel, as I imagine you'll likely watch this back, do not count on that sort of luck happening all the time. Sometimes Dracula vampires will just draw all strengths and mesmerizes, and there's just nothing you can do about them. Whoa, another night fight. I mean, this one we didn't know about, obviously, but Mina, however, does have 2 items. She has a... We know she has a knife, but what else is the question. To be honest, letting this one mature would not be the worst thing in the world. Since it's only 3 points. And truth, unless Mina has a stake as her second item, then... Okay, the fact that he went straight to escape seems to say that that is indeed the case. Well then, why didn't he show the stake then? Okay. In which case... maybe? I don't know. Huh. Yeah. I mean, with Mina now at 4 HP and Goldaming at 2, I actually would not I wouldn't really fault Dracula for going to Bucharest, to his lair in Bucharest now. I mean, sure, it's not the most scary lair, but with 2 hunters so knocked up like that, it's something that you might want to it's something that you at least might want to consider. I don't know what Mina's third item is, but she does have a knife. At a guess, I mean, Heavenly Host would be my guess, but if she has a Heavenly Host, why didn't she go down and deal with Sophia? And get rid of the desecrated soils? I don't know. It's... So at this point, considering that you have 2 hunters who are rather knocked around, I might just let this one go and have them meet up with Seward. Oh, yep, he's going to Bucharest. So we know that one of the 3 encounters is nothing but a saboteur, and therefore won't actually hurt them. However, the other ones... So, we have 2 reckless... I mean, there really isn't any counting these fighter vamps, because some of them died before the reshuffle. But... Yeah. So what do you do with Gul'daming? You kind of gotta rest, and yet at the same time, you also need to fill in that last item slot. You can't trot around with nothing but a horse and a knife forever. And also, when on earth are these 2 gonna get involved? Yeah, the big question of this day is, what are these 2 gonna do? Because Gul'daming is honestly in no shape to go go straight into this. Mina, I mean, if there had been a renewed vigor and she could have done horse plus heal, maybe. But okay, be careful. Going to Belgrade? Okay. I suppose I can understand that. Try to get him with Seward, perhaps. Oh, he's finally traded the horse to Seward. Okay, so now he can help speed up the healing process. That I can approve of. And hopefully he knows that taking down a new vamp single-handedly is beyond Mina's capabilities. So hopefully he'll horse with her too to Belgrade, so that... Oh boy. Uh-oh. I cannot say I like this. Yeah. If it were a reckless vamp, I might consider this. But a new vamp? I don't think so. Oh boy. Mez into Heavenly Host. Okay. Alright, so it was Heavenly Host. I suppose she did supply a couple times at Bucharest, so she may have drawn that after the Desecrated Soil. I would assume that Mina's gonna knife next, but I mean, if he has the second Netherite or either of the two strengths, that could easily backfire. I might dodge next. Claws again? Wow. Terminus seems to be getting really unlucky with his combat hands. Wow. Risk reward. Ghostwheel is getting extremely lucky here. And Terminus extremely unlucky. But please, please, please do not go to Constanta. You know that he hid there. Or at least should know. Gracious. Yeah. That would just be plain foolish. That being said, it's entirely possible that Constanta is a double fog. So, might you be able to get away with it? Wolform to Salonica, perhaps? Nope, going to Sofia, where there's Desecrated Soil, a rats, and 2 other things. Okay. Um, Saboteur plus 2 cards. This is going to be interesting. Okay, is he gonna send Seward in? I mean, presumably, with how much of the item deck he's gone through, Seward will have a Heavenly Host to diffuse the soil. Okay. Sending him to deal with Constanta. I mean, and that's all well and good, but you do need to deal with Dracula himself at some point. Spy, okay. Okay, yeah, all the dogs are gone, so he's gonna actually have to discarding a rifle, okay. And the hide card was, that's didn't ambush with it at all. That's weird. Oh, Terminus misclicked. Okay, so I suppose supply and then heal with Mina is what I would do. Okay, yeah, that should have been a supply there. Gotta fill in that empty item slot. It doesn't matter what with. Anything to put even the smallest thread of doubt in Dracula's mind as to what you're gonna do during combat will do you good. When are you going to actually attack? Because a 3v1, even if your hunters are not the best equipped, is favorable circumstances. Going to Salonica. Yep. So, let's see. Okay. Oh, slow horse. That's not good. Okay. Oh boy. So he's gonna ambush with the rats, almost certainly. Interesting. Didn't ambush at all. That's strange. Discard a blood transfusion. Okay. That's no real surprise. Oh, whoa. Going for a 1v1. I don't know about that one. Versus Dracula. Yeah. Another reckless vampire. Man, this is... Okay. Oh, yep, and here it is. This is why you definitely do not go... And this is why the previous ones are risky too. All it takes is one good round and things will go haywire for you. This is definitely not a good time for that to happen. So here you should definitely play escape so that he cancels that and then you can dodge to prevent Mia dying here and now. However, this means that you will be extremely lucky to survive this upcoming night fight with Dracula himself, especially if that is if the other encounter doesn't kill you, which rats would kill you, bodyguards would kill you. If you're feeling a bit brave, you could try to play a knife since he's out of strengths and mesmerizes. Escape is missed. Okay. But, yeah. This is... Okay, the other one is a fog Oh, do you have a forewarned? No. Okay, this is now just not good. Okay, so um, I personally would, I might consider punching here because it's a little bit too obvious that you go for a for knife to block fangs after being mesmerized. But on the other hand, knife could be, he could parry that with strength and kill you. This is on the assumption that, oh, yep, and there's the plotting. Yeah, so now even if you have great strength, you're toast. He just has to fetch up claws, and that'll do it. Uh, yep. Yeah, that was far too reckless. Far too reckless. Hmm. Okay. Having a stake to destroy vampire there is good. Wolves, okay. I'm guessing Seward has a knife. Yep. Okay. And lastly, soil, which, if you have a knife, that means you don't have a heavenly host. I mean, that. You've made it so that the rune token has no meaning. Hmm. Yeah, this is bad. That's what happens when you overextend. And also, you should have engaged him while he was at Sophia. You knew that two of the encounters were, and I maybe there's some possibilities that go both ways. So he may now be able to wolf form back up to his lair at Varna. Where if he does that, you gotta try to jump him immediately. Cause you are running out of time here. And both of the hunters in that area have, well, or do you jump him immediately? I don't know. Okay, he's finally gone out to sea. This really isn't good. You need to be moving by day and healing by night in regards to that. Okay, you should have moved out of the hospital there. Okay, so your two hunters that still have horses are now full health again. But now Dracula's at sea. Okay, Rufus getting in a bit of work. Good. Okay. Considering what's been happening, I wouldn't count on him going to the Terranian here. But it is most likely true, but by no means guaranteed. Starting a speed telegraph. Yeah, and this game could still go either way. It all depends on where Dracula lands. So he's gonna mature Saboteur and 2 other cards, which I think it's not unlikely that there's gonna be a hoax among them. Which, who knows what they'll find. Then he'll get to heal from a soil, and then potentially mature this Reckless Vampire here, depending on whether the hunters deal with that or not. Yeah. Okay, normal landing after 2 seat moves. So he did not go Black Sea. Yeah, that seems like CAG to me. This is quite a long match, but I think at this point, it's never over for the hunters unless until it really is over. They've been pulling more events, so it's possible that they're there. Cheris Saboteur. Yeah, I think that Van Helsing has ended up discarding quite a few event cards. You probably should be doing some nighttime trading with Van Helsing to free up hand space. Ooh, Mia has a planned ambush now? Okay, that would have been nice earlier. Okay. Yeah, this roadblock is likely not going to be much use. mature. Okay. So that is actually not bad for the hunters. I didn't really do Dracula any good. I mean, shutting down that rail line temporarily will be okay, but the thing is, he really can't afford to let this vamp mature, because I assume that he's gonna hide. Assuming that he is at CAG, he's gonna hide, go to sea, and then land. At which point, if Salonica is not dealt with, he wins. Okay, feed. Okay. That's also perfectly fine. Okay, yeah. Finally filling in that empty item slot. Wax cylinders, huh? Okay. So Dracula has at most one fog in hand, at least. Evil presence? Oh, he's adjacent to Lord Gul'daming. Okay, so that means that he's at Genoa. That's quite revealing. However, yeah, that was good evil presence. However, unless there's some excellent weathers, yeah, we're fortunate that, I mean, he's gonna heal 3 from that soil, so I would actually be moving out to, well, he's gonna heal 1 from that soil, rather, but I imagine that we're gonna see a wolf form, or go back out to sea and then land at CAG. Well, except that he can't go back out to sea, so since it was a normal landing. So therefore, it'll likely be a wolf form that we're going to have to see. Either that or a hide. CG. Okay, I like this. Because now he can force him to move on to Gul'daming, if he does this right. Well, either that or wolf form onto Zurich. Okay. Let's hope that he has the Heavenly Hosts prepared. Oh, Van Helsing showed one? Okay, so that means that he doesn't have them prepared. Okay, that is his last fog. Okay, good. He set up the... At least he set up the tokens correctly. This could be the window that he needs. This could be exactly what he needs to win this. So, yeah, his options are to... I imagine that he'll wolf form, simply to give the hunters more options. Because wolf form allows him to go to Zurich and lay down an encounter there, but we know that it will not be a fog. Let me see, what sort of... we still haven't seen either Renewed Vigor. It's possible that he may have picked one of those up. It's a shame, because if he had been able to block Milan too, he would have been forced him to Venice. At which point, even with yellow 2s, these two can get there. Then they just walk there. And let me see. Worst thing that he could put there would be probably a mob. Okay, chances are that is really to Zurich, because so long as this vampire matures, he only has to survive today. Okay. This is going to be... Okay, well, he only needs to move one regardless. Oh, it is indeed Zurich. Yeah. What? You had a Heavenly Host token there. Ah, Ghostwheel. A Heavenly Host token means that he can't be there. And unfortunately that means that it's game over in Terminus' favor. Yeah, you had it. You had a 2v1 there, man. Ghostwheel. Hello, Snap Icon Chat ever. You've come at the very end of things. GG, well played. You well played both. Both. Good game. Good game. That will have to be that, because I have to get going. But hey Ghostwheel,
Yep, I don't have much time. I appreciate the coverage. Was definitely a bit of a sketchy run, bit of an embarrassing run there, but
yeah, that last turn it was impossible for him to be in Florence because you had put a Heavenly Host token there.
No, I mean, like, that was not... I didn't even realize what the adjacencies were for the CG. I was like, oh, he's next to me. I was like, that's cool. And I could have put the CG somewhere else, and then I misclicked and didn't even use Renewed Vigor. There's just, like, so many things. I clicked through the results again. That's important.
Well, yeah, Renewed Vigor would have helped there. But one way or another, I gotta go as I have my own game to play against Spencer. So, for those on YouTube, thank you, and Twitch, thank you all for watching, and see you all next time. Bye.
Good night.